Good morning, welcome back to the vlog. I think it's vlog 38 if I'm not mistaken. I'm always screwing that up. Anyway, today we are back at Glen Helen Raceway and we have the 2026 Honda CRF450R and the 2026 Honda CRF250R. Both bikes are not changed this year. If you remember, they had quite a bit of changes in 2025. We've got Mark Tilley. We've got Jared Hicks, who is our seasoned Honda guy. Jared, step into my office real quick. So Jared, you've been on the Honda CRF 450R, the 2025, and the Works Edition.
Yes.
No changes. Are you bummed or are you stoked?
I like the bike. Had a year to kind of figure out settings I liked, and it took me a little time, like a couple months, to figure out kind of what I liked and stuff. But I think too, like I was talking to somebody about this bike, and I think the longer you ride the bike, you kind of learn how to ride that chassis and stuff. And I know, like, riding the 26 like 2 weeks ago or whatever, when we rode it, I noticed that I adapted. It's the exact same motorcycle as 25, but I was a lot quicker to feel comfortable on the 26. So I think it's I like the chassis. I like obviously we'll do suspension at some point, but no, I'm happy with it. I like it.
So Tilly, that was spoken like a true pro former supercross racer. But really my point behind that is, for a guy that's a Honda guy, at least it's a bike you're already familiar with. You don't have any guessing games. If you are a guy that's got some parts, pipe, suspension, whatever, you can flip-flop those over and have a fresh bike and know where you're at already, versus an all-new chassis, new electronics, new suspension, yada yada.
And he's comfortable with it now. There's the typical stuff on the bike, in the chassis is a little unsettling, especially at high speeds.
Which it's been, you know, the 450 in particular, more power, but it's been known for that a couple of years now.
I mean, more than a couple of years. It's been known for that since 2000. You're being really nice. 2009, Honda, we all know Honda messed up in 2009. They brought out the 2009 and the 2008 model. They could have put maybe some fuel injection on it and gone, and then they could be winning shootouts for years to come. Or at least that's what the old school guy thinks. Me personally, I think the 08 Honda was one of the best motorcycles ever made, and I still have one, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, the chassis has kind of gone through stages, and they've steadily made it better. They're trying to get back to that stability. We've dealt with the SLR Honda guys a lot. Mark Samuels, they have their bikes set up amazing. Jared, last year we went through pro circuit stuff. We have linkages. We put WP suspension on the front, did different stuff to the back. Had I think he had the ESR guys do the shock, help out with that. We've done pipe testing. We've done all kinds of stuff with this motorcycle. With actually both of these 26s that you see in front of us, they're the same for both of them. And we've done a bunch of testing back and forth with all of this stuff. He's comfortable with it now, and he knows that he can make it that way. Like you said, it is great sometimes for that, to where you've gotten the bike figured out. Like Jared, he's chomping at the bit to throw on all those aftermarket parts that we've had. It is nice when some years they don't come with any changes. It's also nice, like the Yamaha this year it kind of flew under the radar, but it's a brand new motorcycle from the ground up, pretty much. So this one, you know what you're getting with a Honda. If you want to even keep your 25, they're the same thing. So like, you can keep your 25 for another year and then maybe buy a bike next year if there's major changes. So cool to see. I just like Honda in general brings out so many different motorcycles. Like, if you're riding a off-road motorcycle, Honda makes one almost specific for what you're doing. We have the two motocross models sitting in front of us. They have the RX models that are based on the motocross models, but have slightly larger tanks, 18-inch rear wheel, all that stuff. And then you have the X models that you see the SLR guys racing down in Baja. You know, a little bit wider chassis, a little bit more stable chassis. So if you are doing high-speed stuff, maybe the R or the RX isn't for you. You go after the X model, and then the X model is the dual sport is based off of that model. So you have all these different options that Honda's doing, and then they can make them work really, really good, because you got Joe Shimoda, who just won an SMX championship on the 250, and then you got the Lawrence brothers that are just dominating everybody on the 450. Their bikes are closer to what these bikes are in the US, what we're riding on the dealership floors or off the dealership floors, than what like we're seeing in Europe and everything like that. Like everybody's seen the brand new bike in Europe and how it's longer and it's got a different motor and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of cool. You got Trey Kennard talking about that, doing a lot of testing on the back end. So you know, it's really cool to see Honda's kind of commitment to off-road. So whereas as in the past, maybe they haven't been as committed, but man, they're doing a great job, and you can't really knock them for not changing these bikes, because they're offering multiple different platforms in the off-road world. And we hear changes are coming, but you know, like you said, there's lots of aftermarket people that have these bikes working really, really good right now.
Well, no, I was gonna say, we actually raced the bike back east, and I'll say, like, because we ride Glen Helen a lot, obviously, but the bike handles like completely different back east. I would say, like, if we did shootouts back east and things like that, I think this bike would get a lot better feedback from other people with the softer dirt. Like, we raced it at Loretta Lynn's, and I've raced a lot of different models of
and
bikes
Loretta
there.
Lynn's is tight too.
It's tight, it's ready, and I loved this bike.
And this
Loretta.
bike,
That's what this bike does. This bike excels on tight, rutted tracks. On the West Coast, we have stuff like Paris Raceway. That's more of like a stadium style track. It only holds a certain amount of speed, and this bike excels really well. We knock the bike a little bit because we do a lot of testing on higher speed tracks like Glen Helen, and you know, even Fox Raceway is a higher speed track. So, but I think Jared's right. Jared did more racing on the Honda 450 this year than we've done in the past, and a wider variety of racing. Like I said, he went back east. He took the bike back east and did some stuff back east. He went to Monster Mountain, did some local stuff in Florida. He did some off-road stuff. Like, so there's lots of different styles of stuff. It's a good package. And if you're a Honda guy, you're not going to be disappointed, because they didn't, like I said, they didn't change it very much. It's kind of nice, like he said, that we've done a bunch of different styles of testing, and we've gone back east. We've gone up north a little bit to do stuff. So you've been a part of some of the stuff that Jared's did on different tracks, and going up and riding some hard pack, you know, blue groove tracks up north in Northern California, and then going back east and doing the Florida trips, and your moto vacation. I think he was a part of that and doing stuff like that. So you kind of give a wider variety of testing this year. And like I said, we did stuff to where we put a WP fork on, went out, let's see what it does. Damon at WP. The year prior, we were able to do a shock. This year, we weren't able to do a shock because of some of the changes. But and it's funny, these are just two of the bikes we have here. We have the Beta 350, we have Cowie 450, we have KX 250 showing up. So there's lots of other motorcycles that we're testing. You guys are just seeing some of them. And then we have some people changing tires and fixing stuff, and KTM 450 factory edition stuff still going down with the man behind the camera doing all that testing. So we're doing all kinds of stuff. Like, you're just seeing a small portion of it, and you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel and you might be able to see more.
So what you're saying is you pretty much took that red rocket across the whole country.
I did.
What are we doing?
We're changing pipes.
What are you putting on? This is the stock Beta pipe.
We're doing a special, you don't see this testing of a 3-letter pipe. No, we're actually, FMF sent us a pipe to try out for these. And so I'm being lazy and trying not to take off the silencer and take the pipe off, but it's not really working.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, I gotta take off the silencer.
You're on the pipe?
I'm on the pipe. Kind of like On the Pipe podcast with Tyler Shepherdson.
I stay on the pipe.
A different kind of pipe, but yeah.
Not the illegal kind of pipe.
This is the
What's up, Marlon?
What's up, dude? We made it to the vlog.
2026 Honda CRF250.
Oh yeah, little 26 machine.
Marlon, what class do you ride in GPC?
I race a 250 Expert in GPC.
The Expert, and how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
And how much do we weigh?
I weigh 145.
So pretty close target weight for the Honda 250. So it'll be a perfect test, and he's a fast guy. And you're on a KTM normally?
Oh yeah, but I'm like a jack of all trades. I think I can get on almost about anything and put some laps down, at least have fun while I do it.
Yeah, we'll see what you think of the bike stock.
What up?
So
why do you get so close all the time? Make me nervous.
Hey, so how was, well, you tested the beta with the FMF pipe on it. How was that?
I liked it better. It was kind of, you gotta back up. I'm getting nervous. So I tested with the stock pipe first. Super linear, like doesn't really have a very fast like pickup, you know, to get going, but it's smooth all the way through. Could carry like a higher gear if you wanted to do that in like the turns, but the other pipe kind of made it more like, I like to reference it like YZ-ish, like you got to be in the kind of the right spot of the power band to get it to pull and stuff like that. But I thought the aftermarket, I thought that to me that was a more exciting power to ride than the other bike. The other pipe would be better for like vet guys or somebody not looking for like the hit power band style hit as much. But yeah, so I liked it better. You just have to ride them both a little bit different. So.
And talk about the 450 Honda. Is pretty much same as last year starting out.
Yeah, I think we ran 107 sag all day. The bike felt good, which going back to kind of how I said in the beginning, like I have learned how to ride that bike over the last year, and I think each bike kind of has its own characteristics of the way that you ride it to make it work. And I noticed this year we haven't changed anything other than the sag and the levers. I felt more comfortable on it right away. So no changes to the bike. I enjoyed it today. It was good, fun to ride. Typical same Honda as last year. So.
But you did say the sag being 107 versus maybe 105 did help.
Yeah, I think I ran a like 104, 105 sag last year, and I noticed today like that which the track wasn't crazy rough, it was more dry and slick, but today I seemed to like with the stock setup, 107 I think was what we were running. But I think that's also too because the Honda comes sprung a little bit on the softer side, so you don't want to put too much pressure on the front anyways coming into like the turns and stuff. So I said 107 sag, I'm 175 pounds. I enjoyed the bike today, it was good. I was gonna talk crap on Tilly, but he just walked up. Because I was like, I'm never gonna get out of here if I just don't change this myself. He's over there training Miguel.
The life of a test rider.
Well, the other thing is he was gonna talk smack on me, and I got him chain and sprockets for his bike, and he's still gonna talk smack.
He's talking that doo-doo on there.
You know what? I just might have to go confiscate that those Hondas that are at his house right now.
He's got a good point. Well,
talking that doo-doo snuff.
yeah.
You know about that doo-doo snuff?
I've never even heard of doo-doo snuff.
You haven't?
No.
Ron has.
It doesn't surprise me that Ron has heard of doo-doo snuff. Because back in Ron's day, snuff was a thing.
Yeah, but doo-doo snuff is the new thing.
It's
You didn't ride. Harlem rode, Jared rode. Jared gave me some feedback on the Honda. He definitely liked the 107 sag today. It is dry, but he did notice even maybe a new setting to play with some more. Even though it's the same bike, there's always something new to learn. Are you gonna hop on these bad boys?
I am. I'm gonna ride them because I can't just take their word for it. I gotta ride them. Just like I'm gonna have to test this pipe and stuff on this bike. Every test rider is different, and it's just like every person is different. So we have to try everything out ourselves, and then put our 2 cents in there, and then kind of go from there. And that's the great part about having Jared's style of riding completely different than mine. Harlem's style of riding completely different than mine. My riding style completely different from Ron's or from yours. So it's kind of nice having a wide variety, and everybody sees us ride at certain times, and you know, we're showing you riding at Glen Helen, but we go to all kinds of different tracks, and these bikes are in our possession all year long. So we get to try a bunch of different stuff with a bunch of different manufacturers and a bunch of different places. Sometimes these motocross models end up on the trail somewhere. We do go off-road riding. We try to make it to where everybody is doing, or we're doing everything that somebody that might buy this bike is gonna do. Like, I realize that people aren't going to only ride a motocross bike. You know, this Beta 350, people aren't only gonna ride it on the motocross track. They're gonna take it off-roading, they're gonna throw some handguards on it, they're gonna do stuff. Well, we do all that stuff. Like, and it's kind of, we're not just going riding. When it starts raining here, hopefully in a couple weeks or a month or so here in Southern California, we're all gonna hit the hills. We're gonna be building jumps and having fun and doing stuff. So, you know, it's, yeah, there is racing and there is tracks that we can go to all the time, but you know, a lot of these bikes will make it onto the trail, and that's what we'll be testing. But yeah, I'm gonna throw a leg over both of those bikes and kind of see, and then you'll get a wrap up when it comes up to the initial feelings of the test. Because yeah, we had these two guys in the videos, but there's going to be 4 or 5 guys that ride these bikes today. So and more than that ride it by the end of the week. We sit down and do audio and kind of take all the notes and put it all together. It's not just the one day you're seeing of riding, or the 6 minutes you're seeing of riding. There's a lot more that goes into it, and we love it. I mean, you can't really complain about it. We love what we do, and we want to be doing it for a long time, that's for sure. Wow.
Dude, I just flew in from Alabama last night at midnight, and I was like, well, you told me about the Honda thing, and I'm like, well, I don't want anybody else riding the Honda because that's my bike. I know Tilly's hard on the clutch, and he'd probably be, you know, this is Jared's bike. I'm really gonna give it a little extra today, you know?
Yeah, I can't hand it to Jared. He did, he texted me about 11 o'clock last night when he landed, and he was still an hour away from his house. So he did kind of just do a turnaround. And again, that's another reason why I want to ride the bikes. Make sure the feedback from him today is solid. But yeah, it's we gotta love all of our test riders. Like I said, you're seeing Harlem and Jared today. You always see Pete Murray and a lot of the other guys that are out there. Some of our test riders have moved on to OE testing departments, with some of the Wageman brothers doing lots of that stuff. It's fun to see, and it's fun to see people kind of excel at what they're doing and help them along the way. We got to get our buddy Carson Brown back on the West Coast. I know he's out in Florida having the time of his life at the, I believe he's at the Sandbox, riding around with the Lawrence brothers. There's no way of telling what Carson's doing, but so we'll get him back out here before we have some shootout stuff, and kind of catch up with him and see what he's been doing, and make him ride some of these bikes.
All right, guys, that's it for vlog 38. You saw the Beta 350 doing some pipe testing. You saw the 2026 Honda CRF 250 and 450. We got those test videos out of the way. Tilly, Ron, the rest of the crew are gonna ride it some more. Then you'll see a test video on our YouTube channel. Actually, by the time this is live, it actually might already be live, so check our channel. But thanks for hanging with us today, a little behind the scenes of Dirtbike Magazine, and we'll see you down the trail.